In a world of limitless opportunities and countless challenges, the choices we make manifest themselves into the very roads that guide us. And the tribulations and triumphs that shape, weather, and bind these paths together are the very essence of what makes the world such a beautifully strange place. But we walk our path with no map, in search of answers that nobody has, simply hoping that we don't get lost along the way. So maybe just sharing our story of where we come from and the things that have guided us along the way can be enough to guide those lost in their own path.
I'm Zach Bonanza, and this is the Lost Guidance Podcast.
You like an answer to our prayer.
No, wait a minute. I'm not answering to your prayers. I'm not a savior or Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, or the Easter Bunny. I'm a football coach, that's all. Just a football coach.
You are a coach.
And that's right, you are Coach Greg Jones.
Yeah.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the 5th episode of the Lost Guidance Podcast. As you know, I'm Zach, joined by my great buddy Greg Jones. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
You know, I wanted to stick to this sports theme. You know, yesterday we had John Silberth on, told us all the ethos and the ins and outs of semi-pro football and what it means to follow your passion in terms of a sport, even on a small community scale degree. So I couldn't think of a better guest to have on than my buddy here, who you have been guided by baseball through and through your life, as well as other sports. But that passion for the sport led you to become a coach and lead a local high school team to a ton of huge milestones. So let's get into it, brother. What's up, man?
Man, where do we start?
I always start like this. Where'd the love start? Where'd the passion start?
I think, growing up, obviously playing baseball, I can remember the days back in the driveway with my old man and my brother playing wiffle ball. And then, Little League and Babe Ruth and all the way up through high school, and was pretty successful as a pitcher. But always kind of had this, I don't know, I guess maybe sort of way of dealing with things from a coaching perspective. Always first guy in the clubhouse, last guy to leave, like making sure the stuff was done.
Passionate.
Yeah, making sure the field looked good. Even as a player, you kind of took pride in that and making sure everybody's cleats were shined and ready to go and hats were on properly. And so, not only with the gray hair being in high school, but
you had gray hair in high school? Oh, man, that started young.
Yeah. So,
we're like, who's this old guy undercover?
who invited the geriatric guy to the dugout? But you kind of took on like a dad role and a coach role, and so got to college at UC and was supposed to play, and then I just decided, you know what. I was healthy enough to not get hurt throughout my career, other than a back injury, which I did stupidly in the weight room.
Yeah.
But I was healthy enough. My arm never gave me problems, and I just kind of.
You were exclusively a pitcher throughout?
Yeah, mostly throughout high school. Played a little third base and first if I had to. But I just felt at that point it was time to get serious about schooling and studying.
Yeah.
And I was approached by. Ironically, several years later, we find this all out. But my wife at this point, her second cousin was the softball coach at college.
Really?
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, the intramural director. That gentleman, Dave Fontaine, also went to school. My brother and sister at high school. So we've known them throughout the years. And he happens to see me one day, and we get chit chatting, and he says, would you like to help out at practices and stuff? Just come on by like a student assistant.
Yeah.
So
what year of college is this?
This was 95.
So you're
freshman year.
Bro, freshman year.
Yeah.
Freshman year, and you're getting approached.
94, 95. Yeah, right off the bat.
Why did he just knew you?
Yeah, we know, and we had played for mutual coaches over the years that knew each other.
Okay.
He was asking why I wasn't playing. He knew I was coming to play baseball at college, and then I decided not to. So I kind of wanted to hang around the game, and be part of it. So. I got into student assistant at women's softball at UC College. I had a great success with that for 4 years that I was
as a
there.
student, though. That's really cool.
Yeah, didn't get paid, but it was volunteer and
learning too.
Yeah, and I learned a lot from Dave. And still to this day, we still throw ideas back and forth so we catch up. And then from there, it kind of grew. I got into American Legion baseball. I did that for 9 summers. Won the New York State title in 2006 with New Hartford Post.
Playing though, right?
No,
you were
coaching.
okay,
assistant coach at that point. And did JV softball at New Hartford High School as well for a short time from 2003 to I think 2008.
So are you going from all these places basically by word of mouth or openings?
Yeah,
or?
I mean there was openings and people that I knew. The Legion thing was the same thing. A good friend of mine, John Randall, was the head coach there. Came in to see him one day just to catch up and shoot the shit basically, and he said, "What are you doing this summer?" And I said, "Nothing." He goes, "Well, great, you're coaching Legion baseball with me, so congratulations." And had so much fun doing that, and such a great experience. Obviously, winning a state championship, and we lost in the regional finals. We were 1 win away from going to the World Series.
Wow.
Yeah, which would have been unbelievable.
Wow.
We lost in the final game.
Man.
Yeah. So over the time, it kind of was a lot of fun to be an assistant, and then I had an opportunity in 2010 to go to West Canada Valley and be the head coach of the varsity baseball team. And here we are 9 years later. This week we started spring baseball this week, so here we are 9 years later.
Wow.
Still going at it. So it's been 25 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when I was 18 and still now at 43, still doing this. Just again had a lot of success along the way. Met a lot of great people, made a lot of connections, and I think probably the most enjoyable part for me, aside from the wins and losses, I think is the relationships that you build over the years.
Yeah.
And players still coming back and still catching up with you and still following you.
It seems like that's such a big, like a shared passion between you all, because this is something that you all knew you weren't going to make a career out of, but you didn't want to let go,
Right.
And so you put it in the work over the years to keep it a part of your life.
Yeah, you find a way to get involved. And to stay
if you
around.
want to.
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah, and it is time and it's dedication and
Exactly.
and, it's a lot of hours for very little pay. So it's definitely a commitment. I mean, anybody thinks that you get rich coaching off of high school sports, obviously has no idea how this works, because you don't.
Or everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, and it'd be easy. And you can go to colleges and make decent money and make probably a career out of it. But then again, it's much like with high school, there are politics, and college is politics, and
especially in today's day and age, you have to deal with parents as well and all that. So I can imagine it's a little more difficult.
So it has its moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. There's been several times over the course of 25 years where I've just said, enough's enough, and I'm getting out, and then it rolls around to springtime, and you're like, all right, I'll do it again.
I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that.
So it's hard. But again, for me now, I mean, I think as I've gotten older and done this longer and longer, you do become, I don't want to say less concerned about the wins and losses, but you're more concerned about the kids that you groom and how they turn out in life and where they are.
That's powerful.
Yeah, and so I think when you get to that point, you still realize there is some importance in all this. You are shaping these young men or young boys into men, and trying to set an example for them.
Yeah.
And so it's very rewarding on that aspect. Again, I don't do this for the money. I mean, it's just not that. I still love baseball. I still want to be involved in it.
It's crazy how you took something, just to look back at John said something yesterday. It was very much the same thing. He went and learned every position on the line to make sure everybody knew their stuff. And you were the same way. Captain material. You stayed late, made sure everything was legit. And that almost built something inside you. It was internally turned on, this switch, right?
Yeah.
That carried with you. And I'm sure you were thinking all right, maybe I'll just play my best. And now you're like, I don't want to lose the game. I'll start coaching. And when you start coaching, I'll start learning more. And whereas other people might be mediocre, you took it to the extreme and you wanted to get better and better. And then all of a sudden to be one day realizing, wow, it's not about coaching. It's about you're making life changes, man.
Yeah.
And you hear stories of that all the time of kids who, I mean, I'm sure even people I know have been touched by just the support and the constant encouragement and the discipline and all the things that go into having a sport and a coach that cares about how you do, and doesn't want to see you quit. And that's what you bring to the table.
Yeah. And I think again, over time, I mean, you kind of take on a father role, a lot of ways, and each each individual is different. They all have different needs and they all have different desires. And you're kind of a shrink at the same time.
Yeah.
You're dealing with all these things.
You're like the third party, not the parents, not the friends.
Let's be honest. I mean, who at 16, 17, 18-year-old, who wants to listen to their parents every day?
Right. Nobody.
And so it's even at 43. I still don't want to listen every day. You know what I'm saying? But so those kids, they kind of glued to you. And they call upon you and send you messages and ask questions that either A, they're uncomfortable asking at home, maybe B, they don't have anybody to talk to at home. That's happened. C, they just want kind of the different perspective. As opposed to going to mom and dad for every single answer. So it's those things are encouraging for me, because when they're reaching out to you and they're asking you, there's something inside you that just is like, wow, like you really, they really value what you're doing.
Yeah, you seem it's because I'd imagine you seem approachable to a situation where otherwise not every coach would be like that. Some are very, hard knocks, get out of my face, let's go run the drill kind of guys. Not everybody, but like to be an open coach like that and breed that, unity between them and comfort.
You take a look at guys that are coaching even in major sports.
Yeah.
Whether it's college or major leagues, it doesn't matter. But is a Bobby Knight approachable? Probably not.
Yeah.
That's why he has good assistants, because you're not going to sit down and have a conversation with Bobby Knight about your playing time or your girlfriend or what's happening or your grades, and he doesn't have time.
No, he hires people for the collateral damage.
Right. But then I and we've talked about this before. I take a guy like Mike Tomlin who coaches your favorite team.
Yeah.
And I think listening to Tomlin and listening to people that are around him, the players feel like he's just one of them.
Yeah.
He's the coach.
Right.
And they respect the hell out of him. But there's a different bond with him, with his players.
Right.
Joe Torre with the Yankees. So many guys that have come along the way of the Yankees have said, he's just like having a father in the dugout.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeter just raved about his time with Joe Torre. And it's not to say the other guys come along are not that style, but the Yankees are an easy example in upstate New York because everybody follows them as much as I hate them. But when Torre left and Girardi took over, everybody said the same thing. He's not, he's too strict. He demands too much. He's too much, he's on top of it. And it became difficult. And then over the time, if you watch the way
people adjusted.
Yeah, people adjusted and Joe adjusted.
And because they saw results first off,
Sure. They wanted to win, 162 games to be 162-0. That's what the Yankees want.
Yeah.
That's what their fans want. But, they've adapted and they changed. And Joe changed. Joe realized that I can't be Johnny Drill Sergeant.
Yeah, you got to have some give.
Yeah, these players need more than just in your face every day, X's and O's, execution. They don't want that, and they can't handle that.
They want structure, but also like understanding, kind of.
Yeah, and it's hard to draw the respectability. I think that's the hardest thing to do. It is you demand their respect. Even high school kids, you demand their respect, and you command that out of them.
Yeah,
to respect you. But in the same token, you have to soften up a little bit, and you have to be able to say, okay, you're going to scream and yell all you want, but at the end of the day, they're just a kid.
Yeah,
and they need you to make them better.
Yeah, but
to make them be better people is more important.
Right.
And
you don't want to just put them down to the depths and then.
No, they get that all day long.
Yeah.
You
got to pick them up. Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah, a lot of kids turn to sports for an outing, you know? Like they need something like that.
As much as I get away from all the other nonsense in life for an hour and a half of practice, so do they.
Yeah.
They get a chance to put away their phone because that's not allowed at practice, and they get a chance to turn off the Fortnite for a little bit or do,
Seriously.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I know what they're into. But they get a chance to just get away and just go play baseball. And we have a ton of fun, and we win, and we're successful, and that's all great. But they also want to be able to say, "Hey, coach, I need this. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And can I talk to you about this?" And they need that now. And it's again, times have changed.
Do you think that's something that's happening more across the board that we're seeing? Like coaches, are they providing that? Because like I said before, you think of like the 60s and 70s, these guys were just considered like you would picture a coach and it's like rough and tumble, like, hey. this guy will whoop you into shape, right?
Right.
Now it's like these people grow you into a good player.
Yeah.
You think that's happening across the board because of the society we're in, or
I think so. I think as much as I don't want to believe that we're pacifying everybody in society, which we
a
are.
little bit we are, yeah.
Right. I think we've all had to adapt to that style a little bit,
Yeah.
and change that style and change the approach.
Mm-hmm.
One, because many of us fear for the backlash. Yelling at Johnny one day is,
Exactly.
next thing you know, the school board's
You're
calling.
suspended or something.
Yeah.
Did you see that one story of the teacher who gave a student a 0 for not showing up and not doing
Yeah.
the assignment, and she got fired?
Yeah.
Because she was supposed to give a mandatory 50.
Right.
You did 0% of the work. Why would you get 50% of the credit?
Right. When you don't go to work and you don't show up, you don't call in, you don't.
Yeah.
Why do you get paid?
What the hell?
If you don't have vacation time to sick time to use, you don't get paid.
You don't get paid halftime because you
Right.
didn't show up.
Right.
What the hell?
So there's no.
I don't know.
It's kind of the way we're at, though.
Yeah.
And again, we've spoken about this offline here, that this is the society we've created. Everybody's entitled to something.
Yeah.
And
With no work.
Yeah.
You should get half.
The mentality is that ASO soccer mentality of everybody gets a T-shirt, everybody gets milk and cookies at the end, a slice of pizza and a
Yeah.
soda,
Yep.
and you get a pat on the back. You did a good job today.
Yep. Way
Yeah.
to come and get fatter and not
Right.
even play.
I can remember a story, and I'll never forget it. I was on the varsity baseball team at Notre Dame. I got sent down to JVs with about 5 games to go in the season. I went down, pitched a game against VVS, struck out 17 guys out of 21 outs.
Nice.
I walked 3 guys, and I came home like I was tickled pink. Like,
Yeah.
I was like ecstatic. Like
Yeah.
17. Like, my friends had the K signs and they were putting them on the fence, and it was like
That's
it was
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I came home. My dad happened to be working that day, so he didn't come to the game. And my dad always asked me when I got in. So I get in the house and I'm ready to go. And Dad says, "How'd you do today?" And I said, "Good. We won 14-0. Struck out 17 out of 21." He says, "How many did you walk?" And I said, 3. He goes, "That's 3 too many."
Wow.
He goes, "If you could strike out 17 guys, what about those other 3 that you let get to first base for free?"
Yeah. Wow, man.
And I was
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're like, damn, I'm going back out there.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I suck. There goes the pro career right there.
But it puts it into a winning
but-
mentality.
But that was my father, and that's the way he approached it. It wasn't that it wasn't good enough. That wasn't the point.
But that's why you carried it into your baseball career and strived to be the best on the team
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stayed late and
Yeah.
got it there early.
I mean, that's what you wanted, because that's how you got better. Nowadays, it's how fast can I get out of a game or practice, get in my car, get on my phone, get home,
Yep.
play video games.
Exactly.
How fast can I eat the McDonald's? That's kind of where we're at, and I don't begrudge that, but then don't turn to me when your kid doesn't perform
Right.
well on the field.
Like he didn't want to do anything. He
Yeah.
hasn't been showing up.
Yeah. Or you get the parent that walks in and says, "How come my kid didn't play today?" Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because at practice this week, he didn't do shit all week long.
Yeah.
And he missed every ground ball. And when I asked him to go work on bunting stations or hitting stations, he was screwing around.
Yeah.
But what did he tell you when he came home? Oh, he said, "A great practice."
Yeah.
A great practice.
Exactly.
Awesome. If you were a clown, it was great. Because you should be in a circus.
When,
But that's about it. Not on the baseball field.
no, yeah.
Because you weren't in practice. But see, I was.
When did it become that parents believe what the kids say more than the coach? Because before, I remember being even a kid, and my parents would come and ask the coach how I did.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Well,
just the kid's word of mouth, take his word for it.
I think nowadays is that parents don't have the time to be concerned.
Yeah. That's true.
Parents don't have the time to show up or to watch or to come to a game. Everybody's working.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Um,
Throw Johnny $5, tell him to get McDonald's on his way
Yeah.
on his bike to
to
practice.
a lot of times you think to yourself, as a coach, I'm just a glorified babysitter
Yeah. For an hour and a
for
half.
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
The kid you drop your kid off, hour and a half, all right, whatever. And he comes
Yeah.
home and I ask him how he did, and the kid says good, and then the kid takes his phone and goes in his bedroom, locks the door, and I'll see you the next day.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to game time,
You didn't
when
do
you
the
don't
work.
play,
Yeah.
and then they're mad and they come home and mom and dad says, well, how'd it go today? Well, we won. Well, how did you play? No. Well, why not? Well, I don't know, coach didn't put me in the lineup. All right. And then your phone rings.
Yeah.
Or you get a call from, the superintendent, and there's a meeting the next day. And somebody says,
Does that happen regularly? on your end?
Not as much anymore.
Yeah. But like, probably, were you coaching younger kids? And
Yeah, I think when you establish winning, you establish the rapport you have with the kids. I kind of get left alone
yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate in that aspect, because I know there's a lot of coaches out there that don't get left alone.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
And I get pissed when I hear about it because it's wrong. Because at the end of the day, Zach, I want to say to those parents that are complaining, listen, you want to miss dinner with your families? You want to not be there when your kids got a dance recital or something because you're coaching kids that I don't even, they're not my own.
Yeah.
I don't even have a kid in the program.
Yeah, you're taking the time out.
Do you want to be up till 9 o'clock at night calling in the sports scores and doing the statistics? Do you don't want to
come
do
on
that?
in?
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So you want to go home and have dinner with your family, and you want to sit down and let Coach Jones worry about what's going on
And then
today.
criticize them.
And then turn around and stab me in the back.
Wow.
See, and then that's the point when I say that I don't need you here.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk to you as a parent because you don't even know what's going on. What I really want to say is you probably don't know what's going on in your kid's life.
No, seriously.
That's the reality of
Yeah.
it. That's not me just being me. That's the reality of it.
No, like I said earlier, a lot of kids turn to sports because they need something to occupy their time.
Yeah.
You know, they have that void.
Yeah, and they should.
Yeah.
That's what we hope we do, because idle hands are the work of the
devil's
devil,
work, yeah.
right? You know, so those kids that are sitting home doing nothing, that's where the problem is. But for me, in a small school district, I don't really have many of those problems anymore.
That's good.
I have had those, but I've quickly dissolved that issue, and I've quickly put out those fires. But I say it every year. The job's open in January.
Come on in.
Just
Show me what you can do.
Just
Yeah.
apply, man.
Yeah.
But when I have the parent meeting in another week or so, that's the first comment I give everybody. Just so you all know, the job was open in January. There was one applicant. That was me. You didn't apply.
Yeah. Where were you?
So don't come to me about coaching and asking why and how come or this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
Because if you want to answer those questions yourself, then just apply for the job.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to sit home with my wife and
Let's
kids.
see you do
for
better
dinner.
than
Yeah.
the titles you won.
Yeah. I'd love to sit home and have dinner.
Yeah.
But I know for March, April, and May, my time is occupied in getting babysitters and having, people run around and watching my kids and because my wife's working. And by all means, man, take the job.
That's
Take
awesome.
the job. I'll sit back and relax. And then I'm going to come to the game and I'm going to criticize you. And I'm going to question why you do things.
Yeah.
Then I want to see how you like it.
Why you got number 9 at second? What are you thinking, Patricia?
Nine's left-handed. He's playing shortstop.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to play there.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's what you decided, and that's okay. But
The outfielder's catching butterflies. What are you doing?
that kid's picking dandelions.
Yeah.
And, he's kneeling on one knee like the Bad News Bears.
That's funny, man. No, it's crazy that you can still power through with all these criticisms and all this adversity kind of pointing down at you, and especially like we said, especially in a day like today where everybody's Johnny on the spot sensitive about the littlest things. So, but yeah, good luck seeing someone produce the effects that you have and the outcomes that you've had, because you've had a great career there.
Yeah, I think part of that is that you want to almost say to people, when you go for your first job interview, okay, and I tell the players this all the time, you go for your first job interview and you think it goes well, and then you get a call from HR like 3 days later and say, you know what, we've selected another applicant for the job. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You gonna run home?
Cry?
And tell mom and dad, I had a great interview today,
Some people might.
but I didn't get the job. And then what's mom and dad gonna do? Call the CEO of Icon
Yeah.
and say, how
He's
come
such
my
a
kid
good
didn't do-"
boy.
Yeah. Do you know that he told me he did really well in the interview? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's awesome. But there was a better applicant. And I try to tell the kids that, like, this is the same thing as getting a job, boys.
This is real life.
Yeah. Like this is
And
the
this is
lesson
giving you that
you're gonna
structure
learn.
and skills you
Yeah.
need.
So
Earn it.
So listen to what I'm saying as your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what I'm saying. Follow the game plan that we have. Follow the practice plans we have. Listen to what's happening. Watch and learn.
Yeah.
And earn your time. Because everybody's not going to come up right off the bat and start playing. Everybody's going to earn their time. I put in my time long ago. I already did that.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here now.
Yeah.
But we'll have some fun along the way. But I often think about that. Like, what are these kids going to do when that first job doesn't go their way?
I think a lot of them are just going to feel like everything's handed to them. And,
Sure.
and if they don't get it, they're just eventually settle. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about my generation settling because they never learned the hard skills. And mommy and daddy, my parents made damn sure I fended for myself. And as soon as I could get a job, I got a job. And I worked hard, dude. Like I said, I think my first job was a beekeeper. you know what sucks? Being 14, wearing just a veil on your head and some long sleeve t-shirts, 97-degree day in a hayfield.
You sure you're not Amish?
Getting stung, dude. I'm telling you, one time I had my phone in my pocket. It vibrated against the hives would be wooden, a big wooden box. It's like a 50-pound box. I'm shoveling I'm moving maybe 100 of them at a site. Every time we'd go, we'd just transport and move some, right? My phone vibrates in my pocket. All of a sudden, I look down. I am fingertip to elbow and toe to knee, covered in bees, losing it. And my old boss, he's like 73 at the time. He just gives me a smoker. That's how you calm the bees down. They're like hot smoke, He goes, just smoke them off. I'm like, they're already stinging me. Like I got like 100 coming in. I'm like, oh my God, I need to change careers. And it's things like that that mold you into a hardworking person. And you're like, all right, I've learned from that. I'm grateful for the experience of hard work. Let me go and see what I can do next and better myself. And I'm worried, like you said, kids just go home these days. Mom and dad are working. They leave him $20 on the counter for pizza or to do whatever. He goes and sits in his room, plays Fortnite. Doesn't try to learn different skills. Doesn't go to his dishwashing job or whatever, and then it just becomes, all right, now I'm 22, 23 years old. I got this degree in public relations or something ridiculous or, I'm not that that's a ridiculous degree, but it's hard to get a solid career in something that's not going to open the door that well. So, and then he's 23 and he's like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. My parents are complaining. My life kind of sucks. I'll just go get a job at a restaurant in the area. And then they're there for 30 years. Yeah. And then that's what I'm scared about, my generation. Because I see that happening constantly. And it's possibly due to because of the parenting culture. I think it's also due in part because, they're only outlets that would build those structures and that, what would you call it? Like that grit. Yeah. The only things that would do that are like sports, and that's being taken away. You got to, gentrify, for lack of a better word. You got to turn it into this, modern idea of what sports should be. Right. Everybody gets along, that ASO mentality, like you said. Yep. So you take that away. What else do you got? I mean, yeah, it becomes
sort of, I don't want to say routine, but in a lot of ways it does. And year after year after year, we continue to just produce that same kind of mentality. And until we break the cycle of that, I don't know where this changes. Yeah. And even young kids, like even my own that are 5 and 3, like as a father, I'm thinking to myself, all right, where in 12, 13 years when they graduate, what career is going to be good for them? Right. Is it going back to trade school because the tradesmen are kind of dying off here, and there's really nobody that can be an electrician or a plumber or a carpenter, and you can make a hell of a living doing that. You know, or is it that you got to become in the medical field, a doctor or a lawyer or or
technology or something
like so. You start to think like, all right, where are they heading? And we don't know. Obviously, we don't know.
It is scary, especially with young kids, because like even speaking back to my other point, it's like people are always complaining, oh, they want to pay McDonald's workers X amount, but then they start using automated machines. Everything's automated now. Well, you want to know why? Because nobody wants to get up and show for these jobs. Nobody wants to start at the bottom and work their way up. Right. So I will make a fucking machine that I don't have to pay a one-time payment, and it does whatever you want to do. Yeah. So.
And then those same people are complaining. Well, there's no jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you didn't want to
show
apply
up for
for
work on it. Like what?
Right. So we had to come up with a better way to do this because our lines are out the door.
Yeah.
And people can't get service because we don't have anybody here.
And rather than start at the bottom when you're young, like we all did, work your way up young, people are going to start at the bottom at their 20s, and that scares the shit out of them, and they don't want to do it.
Yeah, no, you can't. Everybody's got to be the CEO right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. That's I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 25. No, you can't. You got to have the long-term goal, maybe, but you got to grind. You got to be in the dirt for 10 years and work your way.
And that's kind of where, like, I kind of try to focus that whole thing of, all right, we're going to start at the bottom here, and we're going to work our way up. Unless you're an exceptional athlete, which there are, you're gonna pay your dues. Yeah, and everybody has to do that. This week alone, I mean, I took 2 freshmen on a varsity baseball team, and I'll have this conversation with them this week about, you're not gonna see a lot of time.
No, but you'll learn.
But you're gonna learn, and
you're gonna practice with the best.
With my kids, in the way they think, you're gonna get an education in the dugout. That's something you probably don't want to repeat at home. Yeah. But that's it's just the way it is. Yeah. But you'll hear stories on the bus that you probably can't repeat. Yeah. But but you're going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
And in next year you'll be that further ahead.
Yeah.
And in 2 years from now, it'll be your time to shine.
Yeah.
But,
and you'll know you earned it.
Yeah, and I think if you have that conversation with them and have them understand that, and to some extent have the parents understand that as well.
Yeah.
Then it makes things easier.
Yeah. Like this is an opportunity for you. Understand that even though you're not going to play a lot, it's a good thing.
Right.
Just
right.
wait it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're committed, like somebody like you was committed to doing those things.
Right.
If you're a committed person, it'll
Right.
flourish.
And
you're
I always
proof of
say,
that.
and as I always say to them, these guys, they live, maybe 10 minutes at the most from school.
Yeah.
Okay. I drive 25 minutes to get to West Canada.
Yeah.
And then 25 minutes home. So being on time is important to me because I'm never late and I drive 25 minutes.
Right.
Putting in the extra time, staying after, again, missing dinners at home, I'll help you in the cage. I'll help you off the tee. I'll let you hit ground balls. I'll work all those things with you. But if I'm going to do it, then you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's come to the point now where it's generally if one kid asks, "Hey coach, can I take extra ground balls today?" Everybody stays.
Yeah. Really?
Nobody leaves anymore.
Really?
And it's kind of just been, I never made it mandatory, Zach. I never said, you know what, if one guy's staying, we're all staying. Guys have just learned over the time now of, all right,
that's your
team.
team.
If coach is staying and one guy staying, you know what, we're staying.
Wow, that's so
everybody's
awesome.
staying. So call your mom and tell them to come back in 10, 15 minutes. Or you know what, go out to the parking lot and tell them, hey, I'll be back out in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Coach is having us stick around. We're taking some ground.
Wow, man.
And when you build that culture
Yeah.
of that, it no longer has to be repeated. You don't have to say it anymore. Guys just do it.
Wow.
awesome.
That's awesome.
And
man.
so
the cohesion you build,
yeah,
that's amazing.
That's kind of what you want. And I think you see the vast difference of that in the pro sports because they're making X amount of dollars. They're millionaires.
Yeah.
They're all getting paid way too much money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We could talk about
And-
that.
yeah,
Like
and then you
Manny
see-
Machado's
right.
deal, $300 million in 10 years.
Ridiculous.
That's
For what?
to hit balls and run bases to 162
He hardly
times
runs.
a year.
He hardly runs.
Yeah, she just hits.
Because honestly, at this point, I would play for $500,000.
Dude, yeah. You could hit me in the face with a fastball for $1 million.
I'm willing to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to
I
take
might
a
lose
shot
an
at
eye.
this.
I don't
Right.
care.
Right. I mean, my insurance will pay for this later
Yeah.
on. The Major League Baseball will. But for what?
I know. It's amazing.
How is that
for us
setting
to
us
enjoy
up?
watching them.
Yeah. We can't.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy watching a guy making that kind of money and bat flip on a home run every time he hits one.
Yeah.
That's not baseball.
No.
And that's not the real world that we live in.
It's like a carnival contest.
Yeah. You're giving that amount of money for what?
And it's all because of us watching.
Oh, yeah. We do it.
Yeah.
We buy the merchandise.
And then
we
that
pay-
is breeding these
Sure.
kids in these small towns to have this false mentality almost. Some of them, you
You
know.
know, I looked up the other day because I figured we'd eventually get to this point of, and I know
What?
exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Of the idea of making it to the major sports. Let's throw this number at you.
Okay.
High school baseball players in the United States of America, just the U.S. alone, the opportunity for you to make it to the major leagues and or close to Division I school is 0.0015%.
Wow.
Do you know how minimal that is?
1/1000%.
That's your chance.
Wow.
And again, I'm not here to burst anybody's bubble. I try to be realistic with the
That's
kids.
crazy though, you know.
But I always say this. I have a better chance tomorrow of coaching the Yankees
Yeah.
than your kid probably making it to the major leagues.
Yeah. No matter how good he is.
And that's the truth.
Yep.
I probably have a better chance because I've been coaching for so long and I've been successful, thank God, that I've had success, that I have a better chance than
How many
your
of-
kid making it.
How many of your kids have went pro?
Right.
That's not, I'm not being a jerk or anything.
How
That's,
many are
that's
going?
A real exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, especially you think just the United States. You said that's
Just the U.S.
Over
We're not
300
talking about Cuba, Mexico.
where the great athletes
We're not
are.
talking about any of that.
Yeah.
We're just talking the United States.
Wow.
Your kid.
And you think of like 330 some odd million people in the country. The odds of one of them just being born with freakish athleticism,
It's
like a
unbelievable.
Zion Williamson,
Yeah.
if you will, is almost guaranteed. So that kid, you know, that's what we're collecting, a conglomerate of
But do you
super
do you
humans.
think in your honest opinion that Williams got this good sitting at home?
No, he between his I think he said between his 10th and 11th grade year, he bumped up 100 pounds of almost all solid muscle. He was just in the gym and eating every day.
I've seen kids book up 100 pounds too of Big Macs and cheeseburgers.
Yeah, I know.
The next season.
Dude, come on. I'm right in the room.
But we're right there. I mean, I'm there with them. That's why I don't run at practice.
You know what sucks? God damn, I had a Big Mac yesterday. I hate myself.
You should.
I know.
You know why? Because you've earned it.
Yeah.
You've earned a paycheck
hard,
to go.
dude.
You know what? You do it. And by the way, props on the education. Props,
Oh, thank you.
props
Right on,
finishing,
dude. Yeah,
right?
finally got
Gotcha.
the diploma in the mail.
Because you know what? It's hard for you to get any accolades, so I'll throw it out
I
for you.
appreciate it, bud.
So for everybody out there, my man finally finished it off.
Thank
He
you.
did it.
Thank
you know, a lot of hard nights. I know. I saw
Yeah.
him coming to work, dragging ass every
Yeah.
day. Sometimes he was hungover. That's beside the
yeah,
point. But
well,
you know,
a little bit of all of
yeah.
it.
But I saw him leaving work and coming back and staying late nights and doing his thing. And I can remember him leaning on me a few times as a coach to say, how am I going to get through this? And
Yep.
you know, you'll get through it. You'll figure it out,
Oh,
and you'll
man.
pay the debts at the end, and you'll pay back to society what you owe. But my man finally got through
thank
it all.
you.
So
Thank you so
props
much.
on that.
I
But,
appreciate that. Cheers to that.
cheers to that, eh? Good job
Hey,
by you.
Thank you
That's
so
awesome.
much, bro.
So you know it's hard, and I think when I finally realized how hard it is to achieve, I can go back to 2007. I was down in the University of Miami visiting a player of mine, a former
In
player.
Florida, not Ohio.
Not Ohio where Jimmy went. But anyways, and I'm down there for a weekend series. Georgia Tech's playing the University of Miami. Alex Rodriguez Field, $5 million complex, unbelievable place, right? We're drinking all day, but we got a 3-game series starting on Friday night and then Saturday, Sunday. All 3 pitchers for Georgia Tech that weekend were 6'5" or better, 200 plus pounds.
Wow.
2 of the 3 were left-handed. Okay,
That's hard to bat against.
right. This is
don't know.
just one school, Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is like a tournament you said?
No,
or
this is
just
a
the
weekend
2
series. This
Oh,
is a
okay.
weekend
So they're gonna
series.
play. All right.
This is their ACC conference
Gotcha.
games.
Okay.
7 out of the 9 starting lineup in the University of Miami lineup that day on Friday night. 7 of the 9 were already drafted.
Wow.
Their catcher, Yasmani Grandal, who's now catching, I think, maybe Milwaukee Brewers, is in the pros. He was a freshman at that point. And somebody in the stand said to me, this kid will make it.
Yeah. And here he
He
is.
was a freshman.
Wow.
He was 6 foot, I don't know, like 6'3", 6'4" at that point. He was 222 pounds.
Wow.
And he was a beast
That's an
as
athletic.
a freshman.
Wow.
But 7 out of the 9 in that lineup that day have already been drafted.
That's insane.
Where do you think we're going in upstate New York?
Yeah. Yep.
The realistic goal.
No, really.
The realistic goal.
I think the only thing you can hope for is a turnout like yours, where it's a passion that you follow for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And it gives you some of that.
But I think what bothers me is this false hope.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, that your kid is you're gonna make it. Listen, I'm sure my parents thought I was gonna make it too, as did I.
Yeah.
But then I realized, you know what? This is not in my future, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stay healthy long enough.
Right.
I want to go to college. I want to enjoy my college experience. I'm gonna get fat. I'm gonna eat chicken wings. I'm gonna drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have a good time. And then I'm gonna go into the real world
Yeah.
because the percentage is
Slim
that
none.
small.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, I think if you put it into perspective, that definitely says a lot
Yeah.
to people.
And
you
again,
know?
I'm not trying to burst
No.
into, but listen, anybody that gets there, man, God bless you.
But that's a good message to the parents as well. Like, you show them that actual statistic and be like, listen, if your kid comes to
Yeah.
complain to you that he's not getting a lot of playing time, tell him stick with it and get better
yeah.
just for personal gain. You know,
Yeah.
not like you're going to get financially. Don't do everything for finances and rich and fame and glory.
No, it's
Work
the,
hard.
It's the idea that, well, they want you to get there and they want you to achieve
Right.
that
yeah,
next
every parent
level.
wants their kid.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the reality is that you've done nothing to prepare them for that.
Yeah. You can't just give them support and kisses and hugs.
Yeah, and say you did a great job today, Johnny. Yeah,
A fucking turkey
so did my
sandwich pat
washing
on the head.
machine
Yeah.
washing my clothes, but that ain't going pro either. So I'm not sure what we're talking about here. But whatever you want to do, I mean, that's So it's realizing that realistic goal, and it's very tough to achieve. And and again, anybody that gets there, listen, God bless you, man. You've put in a ton of time.
Seriously.
But Derek Jeter wasn't born this way, and he put in his time, and he had to work.
Or any great athlete. I mean, you watch some of the documentaries with Tom Brady and how often he would just spend
Seventh
hours.
round, pick?
7th round, 199 overall.
He did pretty good.
And he would just sit and do the same pass over and over again just to nail new techniques of throwing. He would, to an insanity degree,
Yeah.
work hard. And it didn't matter if he went 199th. He said, this is my chance. I'm going to become
Yeah,
the
take
greatest
it.
quarterback of all time.
Right? Drew Bledsoe's never been the same, right? I mean, he's just,
Yeah.
that's it. Tom Brady went by you and said, see ya.
Yeah, see you
And
later, bye.
I'm going to take the franchise and run, So it's all of that together, that the kind of mentality and the way of focusing it and harnessing that idea that you're gonna make it. You can make it,
Definitely.
but you gotta commit to
You
this.
got to eat, sleep, and dream
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
Everything.
there is no, again, going
And you have
home
to have some good genes too. I mean,
yeah, and you got to get lucky along the way.
right?
You got to get lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 30 plus years since anybody upstate New York, Archie Sinfranco and Mark Lemke, were the last two guys to make it in the major
in
leagues.
baseball.
30 plus years. You know how many high school athletes played baseball in 30 years?
Hundreds of thousands. Got it.
Zero have made it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So where are we going?
No.
Here we are,
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
I still got people telling me, my kid's got a chance. Yeah. So do I.
So do I.
I got a chance to win the lotto, but I don't play it.
Yeah.
So I don't have a very good chance.
Yep.
Yeah, your kid's got a chance.
We'll
sure
see.
he does. I don't want to discourage you.
It's less than the .0015.
Yeah, but your kid's 16 years old. He's
wish you-
heavier than me, and he's losing sprints, and I can beat him at 43 years old.
I wish you could just pull out this huge calculator and you just start crunching numbers. Bing, 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 bing. Let me just see how. Ring.
You could, but see, and then they'll turn around and say, "Well, you're the one that ruined it."
Yeah. You put it into his head.
So it's a very fine line that you have to walk with that.
You got to be realistic, but also can't be the one who put it in their head that
Yeah.
they're going to not do well.
I mean, and again, I'm not trying to discourage anybody to do that. I wish anybody the best of luck that could get there, but it's difficult to do. It's not easy. I mean, I just don't know if it's a realistic goal anymore,
Yeah.
and nor should it be. I mean, I think these kids get through high school and
I
get
think
to
if we
college
started breeding that culture, that would help with the whole over-inflated prices that we're paying professionals.
Sure.
I mean, if not every kid is trying his damnedest to get into baseball, we kind of put it a little bit more on the. Not, I mean, sure, sports are great; they're America's pastime, and I love watching footballs on Sundays and everything. Don't get me wrong, but do I think we could all put the brakes on a little bit, get the tickets and the cost of watching down and all this?
Let's be honest. The only way that you're ever going to stop that kind of money being thrown around foolishly,
Yeah.
and the NHL did it right several years ago with the collective bargaining agreements, was to put the salary cap in place.
Yeah.
You have X amount of dollars to roster 23 guys in the NHL, and you can't go over. And if you do, a trade has to happen, or
You cannot go over.
You can't. And there's also a floor. They have to reach the $51 million.
So you get a window you have to pay these guys.
You can't tank it being under $51 million, so you get a high draft pick in the next year, so you can't stay below the floor, and you can't go above the ceiling of $72 million a year.
That's perfect.
You got one guy
That's
in Major
still a
League
lot of
Baseball
money.
making more than
$300
that.
million in 10 years. That's $30 million a year, right?
How is that? That's one guy of a 25-man roster in baseball. That is not fair.
Making enough money to solve world hunger.
Right.
I mean,
I wish somebody would give me that money.
I know.
I would not be hungry.
Yeah.
But you take a look at it, and and of course, again, as much as I'm picking on the Yankee fans here, they all we pay X amount of tax, dollar taxes back to the nonsense.
Whatever.
Nonsense. You buy championships. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You buy championships.
Yep.
You don't. That's not earned. You buy them.
You literally go out and pay for the best players year in, year out.
And if Machado didn't get the money there, he would have gone to New York and got it.
Absolutely. Probably more.
Could have.
But we're seeing that increasingly more with football players as well. Just it's so staggering to me how much people can make just playing these sports. And half the time, like a lot of the players in the football in the NFL aren't doing that great. Like Jimmy Garoppolo had he's like the third highest paid quarterback. He'd only played 7 games total in his career, and then he snapped his leg or something, right? Or he dislocated something, and now he's still prepping to even be a quarterback, and
still getting paid.
People are just dumping money, and it's crazy. Like I often find myself losing my mind thinking about how much money must be floating around our economy right now, and how much of it is dumped into these recreational sports we're watching.
Yeah.
And all the drama that goes with it. We're breeding our own hatred.
Yeah.
Not that I want to get political, but like things like the national anthem stance and how that could get all over the news and tear the country apart, and we are the ones paying to watch it. It's crazy to me, and I don't know.
And I won't. My wife would kill me if I go into political.
No, we won't. We won't. I just wanted to say that,
But I'll say something about that too. Shame on the NFL. Because when this whole thing happened with the national anthem, you watch a game on a Sunday afternoon, they always show the national anthem. Why? Because they want to scan the sidelines for the guys kneeling.
Yep.
and then they want to talk about it.
Yep.
Which, by the way, bothers me more than anything. When announcers are talking during the national anthem about so-and-so
Doesn't
kneeling on the
look
sideline.
good here. He's taking a knee down on the sideline. It doesn't even, yeah, I totally agree.
I thought we were supposed to be silent.
Yeah.
But as a society, we love to see that. We're sick in the head.
And they want
we
the
love to
publicity,
watch.
too.
Sure they do.
Yeah.
Sure they do.
Like, who cares? We'll can this guy
And
anyway.
again, as much as I love hockey and
Yeah.
they never show the national anthem on TV in a hockey game.
Really?
So if a guy's
I've never realized that.
Watch next time. If a guy's kneeling on the bench, you would never know. Because they
Wow.
never show it.
Wow.
Yeah. The only time they show them usually are the Canadian stations, and they sing the Canadian national anthem, and then the American or vice versa, and that's the only time you ever get seen.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So if they were doing it, nobody would know because they don't show it.
Because it's not a big deal.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's not a big deal to show it and get people riled up over
Right.
it,
And then you it's a whole different sort of thing. But
Yeah.
just don't show it. Just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And then it'll be gone.
It'll disappear. Yeah.
Because eventually Colin Kaepernick conversations are going to cease and
It'll just
exist
be history. Yeah.
until somebody makes a commercial to Super Bowl and brings him back.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted to rile everybody up
Yeah.
one more time.
Last year.
Right.
Yep.
You had to bring him back.
Yep.
You had to show him one more time.
Not over.
You had to make a man of the year, whatever they did.
Yeah.
Athlete, whatever
Yeah.
it was. You had to do
It's
that.
all to keep it relevant.
It's just to
Yeah.
make the media run. And everybody in America to get pissed off. And that's what they did. They accomplished their goal. That's what they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
So it breeds this idea of what everybody sees on TV. That's what they aspire to be, whether it's a big contract or getting the media attention through Twitter or Twatter or whatever the frick you call it. It doesn't matter. That's what they want. That's what we want as a society.
Yeah.
We want to see that.
Yeah.
And then we want to.
We get off on the gossip
Then
and all being a part of it.
We want to feast on it.
Yeah.
That's what we love to do. And then we turn it all inside out.
We each want to stand on the side of something that we don't even know anything about
Yeah.
otherwise.
Listen, I'd love to not stand for the national anthem too, but that's because I'm fat and overweight and I can't stand that long. One position without having to go to the bathroom. So I'd love to stand there too and kneel and sit, but I don't.
Got arthritis in these knees, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I'm old, and
Yeah.
that Big Mac settles in after a while. And
What are we doing?
It's a little thing they invented back in the 60s called jogging. You're going to love it. Come on.
You're going to love it.
they hate it. They always say, Coach, how come you don't run? I already ran, boys. My time's done.
Yeah. I racked up the miles.
I sit in the sidelines with a bag of seeds and a Gatorade and watch y'all run back and forth all day and sweat. It doesn't bother me.
Faster. Ting.
Yeah. I mean, go again. Just
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. It's
We
entertaining me.
got 10 minutes left to go.
It's like watching those balls click back and
yeah.
forth,
Just keep going and going
Come
and going.
on.
And then they get mad. But again, that's,
Slow down. You're making
yeah.
me tweak my neck.
I think I felt the artery pop on that one.
All right, so I want to get back to your team, man. I
Sure.
want to talk about you've had some impressive achievements with them, and so was it your first season that you did so well? Talk me through the winning of the first sectional title in almost 20
Okay.
years and all that.
Yeah. So 2016. That time been with the program 6 years, so kind of building the culture, and then it came down to really an unbelievable run in so many ways. We had some adversity throughout the season. I actually resigned at one point.
Really?
Yeah. We had an instant of a situation with a parent, and I had resigned and then got talked off the ledge by quite a few people that brought me back in.
Like, please don't do
yeah,
this.
Yeah,
Please don't do this.
yeah. Several of them were players who said, "Coach, just let's just get back to it and come back." And so, anyways, we get to the playoffs. We start off the first section game. I threw a kid who kind of just did a little bit of relief work for me. Really wasn't really a pitcher. He goes out and throws a no-hitter in game one.
What?
And we're like, wow. Like,
Okay,
all right,
rookie
this
of
is
the
yeah. Like, holy cow, like this
Oh,
is
man.
great, And,
That's awesome.
Yeah, we saved our best. We didn't have to- So, game two, which I always say in the playoffs are always the toughest games in a one-game series.
Why do you think that?
I just think that most teams that are in round two are usually the top end. It's kind of difficult in high school sports to be a big upset in the first round.
Yeah.
It's very rare. So I always say game twos are always the
They're the
tough
teams
ones.
that made it.
Yeah,
and earned it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so they get a little glimpse of, geez, maybe we can make a run here if we can. So we win game two 5-3. It was a close knit game. could have gone either way, and we caught the right breaks at the right time. And then we go on to game 3, and my starting pitcher that day, who ironically last year set the school record for batting average in a season.
Your pitcher set the batting average?
Yeah, well, he was a sophomore. He was a sophomore at that point. I'd taken him in 8th grade. He played 5 years for me, but he was a sophomore at that point. And prior to that day, he had lost a member of his family, a close member. So he comes out to the mound, and onto the bus, and I say, I don't know if we should throw him because I don't know if he's in the right mental state. But, again, you channel in the energy of, all right, you're going to go win this for your grandfather.
Yeah,
the old,
right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to
Like,
all
I
right,
swear to God, nothing's stopping me today.
Yeah.
That's
So he goes out, and it was like, Jesus, to remember the day, it was like 95 degrees at the base of Duluth. No shade whatsoever. It's ball sweating hot at this point.
Man.
And he's out there laboring. And we end up knocking off the number 1 seed in the section.
Really? This is game 3?
This is game 3. So it's semifinals. So now we get to the finals, and it's at Onondaga Community College against the Oriskany, who at this point is our biggest rival. Twice during the season had beat them both times by a score 7-6, but lost the league title to them. So the rivalry is
It's
huge.
there.
Yeah,
It's there.
And their coach Tom and I are very good friends. We golf in the summer, and two coaches who just love to compete, 2 former players who love to go at it. They jump out against my ace on the mound in the top of the first inning, 4-0. They're up.
Oh, man. Top of the first inning.
Top of the first. And,
Now, a high school is only 7 innings?
7 innings, yeah.
Okay.
So we come in the huddle in the first, and my pitcher, at that point walks right by me and goes in the dugout. Doesn't even come in a team huddle.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, shit, like really? Like, all right. He knew he had a bad run, and his nerves got to him, and he was struggling. So we bring the huddle in, and I look at my assistant. I'm like, listen, you go in the dugout, you get him, and you speak to him right now because we're not doing this.
I'm sure your heart's pumping. I can see this is you at the moment.
I'm so like,
get him over here right now.
Like if anybody watches a video of John Tortorella coaching in the NHL, the way he's feisty about things, this is me at this point. I'm like, okay, because if you don't choke him, I'm going to choke him. So somebody's going down right now. So I rallied the group, and I said, listen, it's the first inning. We got 21 outs left. We got 7 innings of hitting left. Just chip away. Don't just come up there and try to get a single, chip away. Well, next thing you know, it's 4-1, it's 4-2. Josh goes by the mound. He settles down. He starts mowing them down left to start to pick things up a little bit. We tie it 4-4. We go up 8-4. Now we're up 14-4. It's just this snowball effect of, guys who hadn't hit in 13 at bats in a row finally got a hit.
Nice.
Like things just started to happen.
You're like, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm on the sidelines at third base. I'm thinking, oh my God, like this is real. We're really gonna hammer this down. So we go on the 7th inning.
Tell me they pick up 8 points.
Close. And I always say the last 3 outs of the game are always the toughest because the energy gets to you. You're excited. The crowd's going crazy. Everybody's there. So we go out. We give up 5 in the top of the 7th, and I'm like, oh man, with 1 out, we got 5 runs. Now it's 14-9. And they're getting to the heart of their lineup coming up again. Like they've already come through once.
Yeah.
So I go on to make a pitcher change. Bring the same kid in who won game 3 with the passing of a relative. He says, give me the ball, I'll finish up. So he throws 2 pitches. The second pitch of the game is a tailor-made ground ball to second base. It's a 4-6-3 double play. Game over.
Game over.
It was so unreal, I think, for us because, 1, we weren't expected to win, and 2, the celebration was so mundane because I think our kids were just like,
did we just
holy
win?
Crap, like this really happened?
We just won?
Yeah, like we're going on the regionals. Like So, everybody goes out and everybody congratulates and all excited and stuff. So, we get the bus on the way home and the kids are all jazzed up on the ride and they were probably mooning people as they were driving by. I'm sure in the back of the bus, pants were falling down. I'm sure of this. They never admitted to this day, but whatever. But then about halfway home, Zach, the bus kind of went silent, and I was like, "Wow, all right. I guess they're
stewing in it.
All right, they got it. They understand, but they want more. we get to Newport and we got like, fire trucks and ambulance. They give us like the parade in for the section title, and kids get off the bus and we get in the locker room and, all right, guys, you've earned the weekend off and got a couple days to relax. But, this was Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday night. We play Saturday down at regionals down in Binghamton.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, guys, take tomorrow off, relax, have a good day. And we'll get back in on Thursday for practice. So we come in Thursday, and I don't want to say they weren't excited, but I could sense that they were like, all right, there's a bigger picture here.
We're going to win.
We're gonna take this now. Well, now we go down to Binghamton on a Saturday afternoon, 3:00 game against Ashland Jewett, which was out of Binghamton area down in the southern tier. They come off this bus in these uniforms, and I'm looking at them like, what is this, a gong show? Like black baseball pants, blue jerseys. And I'm thinking, who the hell are we playing? But whatever.
So a little extraordinary.
Yeah, kind of like over the top,
belly dancer
colors. Kind of very talkative, like really loud, obnoxious during infield, outfield. And,
we get it.
Yeah. Like, why did we bother showing? I love that. Pat the can have it yet.
Yeah, back in the can I have it.
So we come out and they're throwing their ace, who's like, he's going Division III. He's legit, and we got our ace on the mound. We end up winning the game 2-1. Right, and a nail biter. That's just like.
All right, so hold on. So you went through the sectionals. That's what you want, and then there's a whole new regional.
So now you play regionals.
Okay.
So we win the regional title. First time in 19 years that had happened as well. So we win the regionals. We get back on the bus, come home from Binghamton. It's kind of the same thing. Everybody's hooting and hollering halfway home, quiet, and like nobody's talking. So I looked at my assistant and I'm like, you know what? I think these guys, I don't know if they get it from me or because, I'm trying not to over celebrate everything. I'm just trying to just stay even keel. But I'm excited, and I'm ecstatic.
We're internalizing it.
Yeah,
all of you
I'm
are.
just trying to keep it all in. Like,
you're all stewing on it.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the back of the bus and everybody's like just like zombies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, oh man, like what is going on? So we ride home. We get the parade of everybody. We get in the locker room again, and I'm like, guys, you understand we're going to the state Final Four like next weekend, down in Binghamton again, the same exact place we just won. Like, you understand, like, and then it was like, yeah. And
like had to say it out loud.
Like, and I remember one of my senior guys who was extremely intelligent young man and will go on to great things in life, but very quiet. Jake doesn't say much. But I remember looking at us and be like, seriously, we're playing for the championship like at some point next week. And I'm like, yeah, like we have to win one more game. Ironically, we would have to go up against the two-time defending champ and the number 1 seed right off the bat.
Oh,
at 10
so
o'clock.
the 1 and the 4 played the 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 10 o'clock in the morning down in Binghamton.
Man.
So we go down Friday night. We have the little hoopla and a get together, and I tell the kids, listen, guys, be in bed by. Well, they wanted to go to Tully's. They wanted to go to Hooters, but there was no Hooters. That had closed.
They get to Tully's like, can you guys down dress a little bit?
Like anything at this point, just give these kids something. Besides from the 22 orders of chicken fingers and fries that we got. But anyways, we get back to the hotel and everybody's sound asleep, and of course I don't sleep at all, and up all night long thinking about everything.
Yeah.
And again, we're the 4 seed. We're 2-time defending champs, state champs. We're going up against in round 1, and I think we don't have a chance. Like, this is going to be tough. Well, we end up winning the game 11-7.
Really?
Yeah, just like played out of our asses.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. Just a great experience. So then we had to sit around and wait for the winner of the other game after us, and then sadly lost in the finals. But I can remember getting back on the bus, and after all that had happened, kind of the same thing, looking back and thinking, man, we've created something here for these kids that will last them a lifetime.
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 years from now, they'll still be talking about that season.
Oh, dude.
How much fun that was.
How powerful. So that was the first time you won the regional and the sectional titles in 19 years, you said?
In 19 years. And then the first time ever at West Canada, they made it past the first game of the States. 19 years ago when they went, they lost the first game in the morning and they were eliminated.
So that's the first time they've ever made it that far in West Canada,
ever.
ever. That's
ever.
awesome,
man.
You the answer to our prayers, Coach.
Yeah. I knew we were paying this guy for a reason
Yeah.
up here. So it was.
I bet you shut every parent up then, especially the one who had the adversity at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it was kind of like,
what do you think
wow,
now?
all right, talk about eating crow. But again, so we get through all that, and we have this big celebration. I was named coach of the year for Section 3. Just a great thing, and again, you have all these accolades and stuff, and everybody now has this aspiration. But what it did was it drove the number of guys that wanted to play baseball in West Canada. It drove the numbers up. People now took an interest in playing baseball in Newport. It was always a football school, always a basketball school. Baseball was kind of the forgotten sport at West Canada.
Yeah.
But when you win,
and rejuvenated it.
Yeah, you start to bring in the program, and people start to take notice, and people want to play, and people are excited to play for you. And some of these kids now that I have that are on my team now were there the day we left for Binghamton for the States. They did a parade out of the school, and they were all the little kids that were there. And
oh, wow.
So, 3 years later, some of these kids now are playing for me. Which tells me I'm old. Maybe I'm doing this too long, but so it's cool to get that. And I remember doing a radio show with a good friend of mine, Fred Miller, right after we got back, and he said to me at the end, so many coaches aspire to do what you did. So many coaches wish they could get this far. Not everybody does it. It's very rare that somebody gets an opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
So take all of that for what it was worth, and the experiences you had, and the experience of a lifetime for those kids, and cherish all that.
Seriously.
Because that's the part that they'll remember.
Yeah.
You could win 100 section titles, and you could that ride that we took, and that inspirational kind of 2 weeks, something that they'll always hold on to.
Yeah,
and they'll be part of it. And I've been fortunate again in Legion baseball in 06. We won the New York State American Legion baseball title. So I have been able to do that. To do that on my own, Zach, as a head coach though, was different. When it was Legion, I was the assistant.
Right.
I was able to.
This
take
is
that
your hard work
right.
paying off, man. Not only just on the playing field, but like with these kids and building them up from sometimes not good players and following them. Like you said, you had one kid from 8th grade till varsity. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, and he's he's now playing college, and it's so much fun to see. And he showed up this week to practice just to say hi and catch up, and and those are the things that I enjoy.
To be a part of that team and go so far, like you said, I couldn't imagine being on the bus ride and how powerful the air felt in there.
Yeah, I mean, the celebrations these guys must have after Super Bowls and World Series and Stanley Cup Finals, and I can't imagine what those are like. I know what it was just like to be with 16 kids and a couple of coaches and a bus driver who became our lucky charm. He had to drive us every day, because I'm crazy like that. The bus driver was the reason we won. Yeah. Make sure we had the same bus number too. I think I requested that. Make sure we had the same exact bus. You
got to.
Everybody remember where you sat the weekend before, and don't you dare move your seat. Those little quirks that you come up with, but. To go through that and to do that, again, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. I've had much better teams, talent-wise, and we didn't get nearly as far.
Yeah.
And
I had something special.
It was just that group. And again, I'm a firm believer that throughout a season, you have to go through adversity, whether it was that situation where I quit. We started the season 1-3 actually that year. I remember having a sit-down kind of bitch session in the auditorium after our third loss in a row, and basically telling them, you either pick this up or we're going nowhere. And something clicked. We wrapped off 7-8 in a row. Like it just rolled.
Wow.
So as a coach, you gotta pick those times too. You can't always make that turn where you get in their heads and scream and yell and try to get. There's a defining moment in every season. And as a coach, you have to learn to find out when that is.
Yeah. And try to capitalize
Yeah.
on it almost.
Yeah, and it's frustrating to me when I watch other coaches. I don't want to say inexperienced or young or not to sound that I'm the better one of all of them, but when it's tough to watch other coaches when they explode at every single instance that happens in any sport.
Right.
It's hard to watch that because every time you explode, you're only destroying them.
Right.
you're
and
not
you've had the
making-
experience to
yeah,
recognize these
Yeah,
things.
you're not making them any better, and they're not going to listen.
Yeah.
They're not, nothing's going to change.
No, really.
You're just pushing them further away. I mean, that's what you do, and so
Punishment is not the same as negative reinforcement. You know,
Right.
like be strict, but like just let them know it's because I don't want you to do these things, not because
Right.
you suck.
right,
So-
and it's not because I wanna get on your ass about it. That's not what it is. I'm not here to get pleasure out of demeaning you.
Yeah.
But there are certain times when you turn the switch and you just, I don't want to say crank it up, but you find that moment where you sit back as a coach and you're like, all right, maybe this is the time right
Yeah.
now.
Well, like many things, like you said, the adversity starting the season, or even like your player there who had the loss, maybe that was the inspiration he needed,
Yeah.
and he won it for his
Yeah,
grandfather.
I mean that's
powerful.
all part of it.
Yeah.
When I see the same thing related to work, I mean, we all have those bosses that scream and yell, and but at the end of the day, what are you really getting out of your employee? If you're a bad boss and you're one of those people that just berate people all day long,
Right.
and I've worked for people like that,
Yeah.
you're not getting anything out of me at the end of the
You're
day.
just asking them to go look elsewhere
Exactly.
for a career.
Exactly. And that's why people walk around miserable and hate their
Mm-hmm.
life or hate their jobs or whatever, because that's all you do.
I think that's because people actually hate what they do personally, and they're just extroverting it. They're putting
Yeah.
it onto people, and
Yeah.
they just push everyone away.
Well, I always say, just you got to consider the source of where it's coming from,
Yeah, absolutely.
and look at that person every day, and then say, no wonder you're miserable.
Yeah, your life sucks.
or your life at home is bad, so you take it out on your employees. And I've worked with people like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
I know people who just let it be bad, and then
Yeah.
they use that as an excuse
Yeah.
to be a shitty
You know,
person.
and so I don't want to be that coach to any kid.
Right.
I don't want a kid to say, I'm not coming out for this team because of him.
yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
No. Yeah.
I want guys to say, you know what, I want to play for him because I heard, this is fun, and this
He's a
guy
good coach.
teaches.
Yeah.
And we might not win. We might be 0-17, but we'll learn along the way, and we'll learn lessons from life to school. We'll learn lessons, and he'll be there to guide us. And I know at the end of the day, what I do for my kids is appreciated because I get the text messages, I get the phone calls, not just at the time of needs. That year, Zach, that we went on that run, I can't tell you how many times the phone was blowing up from
Yeah.
former players.
Really.
Like, unbelievable. The outpouring of support.
That's awesome.
That's and again, that generally will happen when you win, but I don't know if that happens for every guy. And again, it's not boasting me at all. That's not what this is about.
I think people definitely saw you, like even just hearing your story, that people saw you as a crucial piece in that process.
Yeah.
Like,
and again, I didn't play the game.
Right.
I mean, I just put the game plan in play.
we were fundamental for
Yeah.
them becoming as good as they could be to win.
You guys go out and do this. You perform. You execute. You follow what we taught you, and if it works, it works.
Yeah.
And it just happened to work.
It worked.
Yeah. Like I said, I've had far more talented teams than that group,
Yeah.
1 through 18 on the roster. I've had much more depth and a much tougher lineup. I've had much better pitching, but for something in that group, it worked. And somehow it just all came to play, and so to get that experience and to do that, I hate to say it, but I might not do it again.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to accomplish. It's a tough thing to do, and so for me, sitting back, when this coaching career is over, whatever that case may be, whenever that time has come, I know that there were things along the way that I did right.
Absolutely.
And it did right by the kids that made this fun, and again, that's what kind of gets me going every day, and so you look at the coaches that have those impacts again from a high school perspective to ASO soccer to the NFL.
Yeah.
There are certain guys that get that out of players,
Yeah.
and I like to think that I'm one of those guys.
There may even be people that don't know that, and I hope somebody out there is listening to this and they're maybe are a coach or they're thinking about trying it, and they hear your story and are like, wow, maybe let me try a new tactic because it seemed to work for this guy and it worked well.
Yeah, and again, I make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. I make mistakes throughout coaching a game or things like that. I mean, I'm not perfect when it comes to baseball, but there again, you can approach it and you can admit it and you can correct it and you can try to make it better. And those are the things that I look for, and that's what I expect out of my players. You're gonna make mistakes.
Everybody's
You're
got
gonna
to
make
grow.
errors.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a bad game.
Grow together.
Yeah. Like, I love it when somebody says, "Oh, you guys played bad today. We'll play better tomorrow."
Because now we know what we did wrong.
What do you want me to do? Sit here and dissect what happened?
Yeah.
We made 10 errors. What do you want me to tell you? We'll play better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wanna know why? Because we're going to go into practice tomorrow. We'll get it. But don't hit the panic button on me.
Right.
Don't come after me after a game.
Don't call me while I'm eating
exactly.
dinner.
Like,
the one dinner I get this
yeah,
week.
yeah. Like, Jesus, coach, you guys are falling apart. Yeah.
All right.
It's my job to bring it back together. I'll figure it out. But
You want to come do it?
Yeah, exactly. I don't
bring it back.
Here's the clipboard, man.
Yeah.
The scorebook. Have fun.
Yeah.
I don't. These guys that hit the panic button so quick. Like, and again, it's just that the way you approach it, man. It just it bothers me. And I say that about work. The way you approach it is gonna determine your result.
Yeah.
If you come at me and you come hard, you're gonna get nothing out of me.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some sarcastic
Let me do what I gotta
asshole
do.
answer.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can approach me and ask me the questions and talk to me on the same level, then we're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's hard.
I feel like sometimes on a professional level, you'll see coaches who, they have a losing streak, they have a lot going bad for them, and so they just kind of abandon all ship, start trading guys, getting rid of guys, because they need to be showing that they're doing something to try and fix the situation, or they'll have all the millions of fans and GMs and everything crashing down on them, which I
Right.
get on a professional level, I suppose. Like on a local level, when, like you said, we got to come to the realization here at some point, your kid's not going to be A-Rod, okay?
No.
So maybe trust the process
Yeah.
and trust what I'm giving to these kids.
rein the horses in a little bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
relax and enjoy the moment of high school sports and what it's for here.
What it's giving you.
Right. And enjoy the opportunity. And the kids can walk away saying, you know what, I remember when our coach at West Canada bought us all our T-shirts and gave us so that we looked good.
Yeah.
And that we were in uniform.
Yeah.
And I can remember our coach sitting in the dugout saying, you know what, we don't wear our hats sideways. And we don't wear them backwards. That's not baseball.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, go to the playground and play over there because
Yeah.
you're not playing for my team like that.
Yeah.
We don't wear our pants sagging down. We
Right.
don't wear one sock up and one sock down. Those things
Yeah.
aren't allowed.
Yeah.
Those things aren't allowed. You may think it's crazy. They all do. They all look at me like, Coach, no, guys, you'll understand in the long
Yes.
term of this.
The structure
what
you're
that
giving.
means. You'll understand it. You'll get it. You'll get it why I say make sure all our buckets are here and the helmets are here and make sure everything's lined up accordingly. You'll get all it. You think it's crazy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you'll understand it.
Absolutely.
And every guy walks away thinking, nah, I got it. I understand.
A couple years in it with you. Yeah, definitely.
When you go to school, and I talk about that at college. You go to college, first thing they do is hand you a syllabus.
Yeah.
That teacher doesn't care if you do the work or not.
Yep. Figure it out.
There's the dates.
On
Here's
you.
when it's due.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Absolutely.
This ain't high school where they're on your case all day long about this is no. You get
I'm not
to
tracking you
college,
down. You better hand
Right.
that in or
Get yourself
Get
a
the
little
F.
date book and start writing things down because
Yeah.
see, it's all order and it's all organization.
yeah.
And it's all time.
Know where your
management.
notes are. Put them
Right.
into folders.
Right.
Take the steps.
And then go back and say, Jesus Christ, Coach Jones made us get there 10 minutes ahead of schedule to make sure the equipment was out and everything was lined up. And
Ah, yeah.
yeah.
Man, what an awesome
Now I remember
message.
time management skills.
Yeah.
And now I remember being organized and trying to make sure that we look right and we do things right and we play by the rules and play by the. I get it now. Right. I go back to the pro thing just for a second because you had hit on something there about, the coaches have these expectations and the general managers and the fans and
Yeah.
everybody's on their case. I'm a huge advocate for the whole idea of I get mad and pissed off when I see coaches get canned
Yeah.
because, again, they're not the ones playing. Their execution and their game plan may not be suitable for the players they have, and
Yeah.
the clientele.
Right.
But every coach that gets fired, it bothers me
Yeah.
because
Even Hugh Jackson.
well, yeah,
Hugh
I mean, there are
Jackson
exceptions.
Sucks.
Yeah, you're just awful. But there are exceptions, and he is one of them. But it's frustrating for me as a coach to watch other coaches just get canned
'Cause you understand.
Yeah, they're 0-16 or they're 0-17. All right, listen. At the end of the day, I didn't draft these guys.
Right.
Management didn't pay the free agents to come here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't trade for anybody.
These are the dice you're rolling.
Right.
You gotta hope
This
you
is
can get Yahtzee.
This is the team you assembled. This
Yeah.
is what you gave me. So I did the best that I could with what I had. And it didn't work. Okay? So that's fine. But I don't have the money like the Patriots.
Right. I can't just swap guys around
Right.
at a will.
I can't just say, well, Robert Kraft, when you're not in the strip club, could you go get me? Could you go get me?
It's a rub and tug. Get it right. Come on, man.
It was a great massage.
He got a great deal on that. 2
awesome
for 1
for
at
him.
Target.
Yeah, awesome, man. God bless him. It's like 70 some years old. His girlfriend's like, what, 30?
He must have been on the phone with Keith Richards for like an hour, just sitting. What do you recommend?
They had it figured out.
Yeah.
They knew. But I don't have that availability.
Right.
Certain teams don't. So you have to deal with that as a coach, because you're only given X amount of players. Take Pittsburgh, for example. The downfall of the Steelers this year, in my opinion, was too much outside distraction.
Yes, absolutely.
And as a diehard fan,
and inside the locker room, you could see he was breeding
Horrible.
contempt for each other.
horrible.
AB and Ben used to have a great camaraderie. Now it's just disintegrated.
Yeah.
And so
And what happened?
good luck in Oakland,
Somebody wanted money.
fucker.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Fucker.
Son of a bitch. Somebody wanted more money.
Yeah,
Somebody
every one of them wants more money. We goes
somebody-
back to it.
Yeah, I go back to look at the Giants. All right, and I hate the New York Giants. I hate all New York teams actually, but I particularly hate the Giants. Take Odell.
Yeah,
All right, he is no longer the focus of that team.
no, even though he's a crybaby.
Yeah, take Manning out of the mix. Eli doesn't count for a lot of reasons. Although he did beat Brady, but anyways, take those take that out of the equation. But take Beckham. Okay, here's a guy who is a tremendous athlete. I mean, he is a freak of nature in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Saquon comes in. I'm the stud.
Oh yeah.
This is my team now. This is Barkley's team now,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm the guy, right? Odell, you're just over there.
Your relief.
Yeah. Every play we need to run for a first down, we ain't passing to you 10 yards out, 5 yards out. I'm going to run the ball now.
Yeah.
It's my team. And Eli sits back and says, all right, sure.
Tosses the ball
here,
off.
Here, you just take it from
Looking
me.
confused as hell all
right,
the time.
Right? And what happens? Who's the cancer in the locker room now?
OBJ.
That guy.
Yeah.
I want out. Why do you want out?
I don't get the ball enough.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't get paid enough.
Right. So now then go.
Yeah.
Then go.
I don't think these guys realize how good they have at having a reliable quarterback and get him the ball. Eli, not as much, but Big Ben always got it to Antonio Brown at the last few seconds. Big plays.
Look at the years that Green Bay was good, right?
Yeah.
They had wide receivers, they had running backs, they had a great offensive line, and he had a tremendous quarterback around the show,
Yeah.
right? Now guys start to, I want more money. I'm going to go someplace else.
Yep.
I'm gonna pay. Guess what? Well, now it starts to fall apart,
Mm-hmm. Big time for Green Bay.
right? Does that mean Mike McCarthy was a bad coach?
No.
I don't think so.
But he got canned.
But he got canned for
Yeah,
it.
that's a good point.
Why? Because everybody let everybody go, and we didn't rein anybody in.
Yeah.
So you're gone. Is he a horrible coach? I don't think so, because he's going to find a job.
Absolutely. In Arizona or
Yeah.
something.
So it's things like that bother me. Look when Philadelphia got rid of
Nick Foles.
what's his name? The coach of the
Oh,
Chiefs, Andy Reid.
Reid, yeah.
Andy Reid's a bad coach?
No.
I don't think so.
He's doing pretty great in Kansas City.
Doing a great job,
Yeah.
right? Got guys that want to play for him.
Yeah,
Players love him. Mahomes can't speak highly enough about him.
I know.
Okay, so we go.
That team's electric right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That would be tough to stop.
They got Carlos Hyde coming in now,
Yeah.
veteran running back like that.
They were 1 or 2 steps away from winning it, and they're coming. But again, if they stay together, they'll be good.
They got the weapons.
They got enough,
Yeah,
and they'll get more.
yeah, absolutely.
And I said that about my Bears, as awful sometimes as we've been over the years, because they won this year. They finally won a division. Okay, finally knocked off Green Bay.
Coming together,
Right,
that defense especially.
You got a great defense. You got a great quarterback who's up and coming. Now you're missing 1 or 2 guys. Well, guess what happens? When you start to win like that, free agents want to come.
Yeah, and then you fill them gaps.
And then you fill in.
That's what's happening to LA. Now they pick up Eric Weedle.
Right.
Great snags coming. These
Right.
guys who are getting free agency, they want to play for good coaching, good teams.
And guys love those coaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those are guys that when you look at the sidelines, you can tell the players love playing for them. They enjoy being there.
Yeah.
And their players speak highly of them.
And that's what makes it fun to watch because the team competes at a better level.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much fun to look at. This year in the NHL alone, last year, 0 coaches in the NHL lost their jobs in the season. Wow. Right now it's up to 7. 7 guys have been canned already this year in the NHL. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of coaches to go through.
Damn.
Are they bad coaches? No. Some of them have won Stanley Cups.
They're just trying to find the right mix.
The personnel is not there for them.
Yeah.
or the general manager has made horrible trades and horrible draft picks, and has dumped money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how is it on the coach?
Yeah, exactly. And then you see these coaches who are good because they go land somewhere else and they have the
Instantly.
right composure.
Yeah,
and yeah,
instantly
kill
you
it.
end up with a job.
Like Reed, yeah.
Guys come out of retirement and take a team to the next level.
Yeah.
Well, he's been sitting around for 2 years. Do you think he went home and studied for 2 months? He didn't study.
Yeah.
He was waiting for the opportunity.
Yeah, he's been doing the same
Right.
thing year
For
in, year
some
out.
general managers sit in his office
Most
and
coaches
say,
are like 70 anyway, so
can't we tap him for a job?
Yeah.
He's not doing anything.
yeah.
Oh, he's got a Stanley Cup on his resume? Let's bring
I
him
just
in.
picture a guy sitting there with a clipboard and the head on.
Yeah.
He's already ready. He's like, I got you.
I'm
What's
ready
up?
to go.
Yeah.
I'm fired up. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so it baffles me to no end that all the time. And again, I know you can't trade 32 guys.
Right.
I understand that, but there never seems to be any sort of leniency with the coaching.
It's like you got to get it together quick or okay.
Or you're out.
Or go 3-53 and we'll eventually can you.
Eventually, I mean, just as the team starts
Yeah.
getting good,
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Damn it.
You know
We're
what?
right on the upswing there.
At least he could say he had
Yeah.
a piece of it. I mean, he was there to help build it. So baseball's been a lot of fun for me, and again, I've been successful, thank God, and I've had a ton of support along the way, and I've had a lot of great players. And hope to continue doing that as long as I can. But the one part we didn't, really kind of get to was the passion of hockey.
I know.
I think you saw that.
You keep reverting back to it. I would like to have you on again, man.
No,
This was a
absolutely.
great conversation and
Absolutely.
discussion. I guess I can start queuing. Yeah, it's been about an hour and 20 and change.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Dude, again, thank you so much. I love having people like you and John on because, I've always loved sports. I didn't play particularly a whole lot throughout my high school career or anything, but I love following them and to see how on a local level someone can be so guided by a passion of a simple sport, and to see this is a great story, man, about your troubles and triumphs and overcoming some adversity and becoming, one of the best coaches that West Canada has seen, and
Thank you.
all the good things that you're bringing to the table, especially with your kids, And
Yeah.
I like I said, I freaking hope someone hears this story who's been thinking about coaching or is coaching currently, and they're like, man, maybe I need to do it a different way.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful, man. It was a good conversation. Thank you for
Awesome.
coming on. Definitely want to have you back on when we start talking hockey or whatever.
Right when we get to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll pop in and give everybody my rundown.
Let me just check, make sure. I didn't think our boy Seaton chimed in on the Twitch channel, but it's all right. Maybe we'll get him.
Probably sleeping.
Yeah, we might get him next time. Again, thank you to anybody who's been watching, listening, following. It means the world to me. I've been, like I tell everybody, I've had nothing but great support and a lot of outreach. People telling me this is a good idea, and I like to think that I'm producing good content because I have good guests coming on with great stories.
Yeah. Lots of good stories. More stories than the library's got.
Yeah,
That's the
dude,
best
definitely.
part.
But that's the joy that I get out of it is just hearing them, So we'll definitely have to do this again. Again, follow on Facebook, YouTube. I keep saying I'm going to do it. Hopefully today I'll get the Instagram little clips going on so people can get the gist of the highlights. It's on SoundCloud, like I said, and then every Sunday. So I know I've been dumping a lot of content, but every Sunday I'm going to go live is my plan.
Yeah.
So people can chime in right on Twitch here and get a part of the conversation in and see what they think about it, guide us a little bit in our conversation if they want. So yeah, thank you again. If anybody has any questions or wants to reach out about a story or coming on, lostguidancepodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's lostguidancepodcast@gmail.com. And thanks, dude.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate
Try not
it.
to get too lost out there, everybody.